Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a tag video, so it is the Never Have I Ever tag, and I saw Dub's Beauty Diary do this video. I will tag her down below, as well as all the creators that she was inspired by, but I saw her video and I thought this would be super fun to do. So if that sounds good to you, if you like tag videos, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around, but let's just get going. I have 15 questions here that I'm gonna answer. All right, general disclaimer for the next couple of months, but I am not home, I am traveling. The background's gonna change very often. I've been pretty fortunate right now that all the Airbnbs we've gotten have had some like natural light. For some reason, this Airbnb kind of has an office, so it was perfect, and I'm going to take advantage of that for sure. But this tag, I think, was started by two people that Dub's Beauty Diary saw. So like I said, I'll have the creators listed down below, but I thought this was really fun. I love the game Never Have I Ever. It's always super fun to do and usually a good time. But we're just gonna start with the very first question, and it is a banger because I have kind of a rant to go on. This is probably the question that made me want to do this video, and it is, have you ever returned a makeup product? So I feel like I am in the minority of my opinion here because 100% I've returned makeup. I find that a lot of people have the opinion, which is fine, that they don't return things because the company's just gonna throw it away, it's gonna end up in the landfill, it's gonna be wasteful. However, for me, like if there's a makeup product that doesn't work for me, keeping it in my collection, just sitting there rotting because I'm not gonna use it since it didn't work for me, is equally just as wasteful. And at the end of the day, my money is wasted. And I just have the opinion that like these, you know, are millions, sometimes billion-dollar companies. I'm not gonna keep a foundation that is the wrong shade that I purchased and not return it to Chanel or Maybelline or whatever it is and be out $50 when Chanel makes plenty of money to refund me. That's just like my opinion. I'm kind of just like tired of putting myself in the shoes of like these billion-dollar corporations. Now with indie products, I might be a little bit more just lenient on that. I will really try to make a product work. And for the most part, like I'm not using these companies, let's be clear, as like my own personal makeup inventory. Like that's not what I mean by returning makeup. But if a product doesn't work for me and there's something wrong or defective, like 100%, I'm gonna get my money back. Like I am not Tati, I'm not getting these products for free, or like they're not like huge tax breaks where my videos are paying for the products. That would be a completely different story. And I feel like we've taken the opinions of those really big influencers who say like, oh, I just don't return stuff even though it didn't work for me. Like they're not gonna return it because it didn't cost them anything. Even if they spent their own money, like they made a profit probably off that video. So there's no reason for them to return that product. And for us everyday people who are like actually spending money we worked hard to earn, I just feel like we should be able to return things and it shouldn't be a shameful opinion. That's what I think. Second question is, never have I ever had makeup products, specific products and not general categories. So I really try to have the mindset of just no backups. I can only think of one backup that I have, and that is the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. But the reason I purchased that is because the shade that I currently have, which is in my project pan, I have it here, is Light 2 Vanilla. And it is just a little bit too light for me, even in the winter time. So I ended up purchasing a shade darker before finishing this. So that's up to you if you consider that a backup. After that, I have no backups in my collection. I've gotten rid of any backups, and going forward, I won't purchase backups. To me, I just think like there's so many good products out there that I would rather use it up. And quite honestly, like I've almost 99.9 never finished a product. So there's no need for me to have a backup. It's very rare that I will go through an entire makeup product to need a backup to begin with. So I really try not to do that. In the past, maybe I have, especially like if something's been discontinued, I've maybe, bought 4 of them, but at this point, like I've gotten rid of them and passed them along. Number 3 is never have I ever force panned an item, purposely using more product or wasting product to hit a panning goal. I don't do that. I mean, there's a little bit of wiggle room, like with my setting spray, like will I go a little bit overboard sometimes? Yes, but I'm not like dumping out the product. Hate panned, absolutely. I try not to do that too much, but like for example, my Project Pan lipstick, I just have everything laying here because I use it actually. This I don't love. If you've seen my Project Pan, which I will link up above and down below in the description box, I'm not a huge fan of this lip product. Now I'm not hate panning it per se, but I can't say like I'm not in love with this product. If I really, really hate something, I will just get rid of it. Again, like life's too short, 1, and 2, I have so many other lip products that I love. There's no point in me hate panning something when I could just pan something that I love. So borderline hate pan, yes, but like fully hate pan, no. All right, question 4 is, never have I ever cleaned makeup brushes and or sponge in over a month. I feel like this is probably gonna expose a lot of people. For me, I know that there's always like this meme going around the internet saying like, oh, reminder to wash your makeup brushes. I don't know if I'm in the minority, but I do clean my makeup brushes on a semi-regular basis. I think more than maybe most people according to like popularity, like what the internet's saying. I don't know that for sure. I wouldn't say, I probably do clean them at least once a month. Like I'm not cleaning them every day for sure. I will not say that, not even weekly, but I do, once I notice like the product on my brush just getting like really built up on it, I do clean them off because I like cleaner things. It's not even a sanitary thing. It's more just, I don't like the color on the brush, especially eyeshadow brushes. And even though I can use my switch or something, I don't want that pigment to be getting on and ruining like a different color. So that's mostly why I do it, if I'm being honest. But I don't have that many brushes to even rotate through. Brushes is not something that I feel the need to really like collect like eyeshadow palettes. So once all my brushes are kind of dirty, they have pigment on them, I'll wash them. It doesn't take me hours and hours like some people. It takes me like 30, 45 minutes if I'm taking my time. So it's not something that is hard for me to do. But I would say like, yeah, there's probably been some times where it's been over a month or I've definitely pushed my limit for sure. Number 5 is never have I ever used a mascara way past its prime. And I'm not even ashamed to say like, yes, I've definitely used a mascara past its prime. I do have pretty sensitive eyes, so maybe I shouldn't. I understand the risks associated with that, but I just use a mascara till it's done. I don't have 5 or 6 mascaras open at a time. I only open 2 mascaras at a time, a black one and a brown one, and then I use them up. And once I use them up completely, or I just find that they don't work anymore, I open up a new one. Now, if I had multiple mascaras open, maybe I would kind of just more on a time frame rotate them out. But I find that, you know, a mascara is lasting me 3 to 4, maybe 5 months because I'm only using that one mascara. So that's not really an issue for me. And I don't really judge people who use mascara past its prime. If you've had an eye infection, like maybe I would understand that, or very sensitive eyes. I'm not very sensitive to product. I'm mostly like my eyes are sensitive to light, but I don't really get reactions very often. So until I have a problem, I'm gonna keep doing the mascara thing and just using it until it's completely done. No shame about that. Now, question 6 is never have I ever Frankened a product, repressing or mixing multiple products into one. I've definitely repressed products. If like some eyeshadows have broken, I've repressed them. That's about it though. I've repressed something like if the pan is too big, I can't get my brush around it to just kind of center it a little bit, but I've never mixed product. I've never, mixed different eyeshadows together, Frankened something to create a whole new color. I've never done that. I might in the future, like nothing's really off the table, but I can't really see myself doing that, to be honest. That's not like the path that I really want to go down. I think it's really great. I love watching other content creators who do that kind of stuff and make, maybe they don't like the tone of a blush, so they'll mix other blushes in to use up that product. And I think that that's fantastic. I love that. But I'm not gonna do that until I use up every single blush in my collection that I like. And then I'll focus on the ones that I don't necessarily love to use up, which will never ever happen. So that's why I think I'll just never Franken something personally. But if you Franken products, like more power to you, because I think that that's really a great way to use them, just not something that I do. After that, we have never have I ever finished a whole eyeshadow. I am a very, very slow panner. So I only do 2 project pans, one based on my whole collection and then one based on eyeshadows. And even my eyeshadow project pan, again, link that above and down below. It's really a project 10 uses is what I call it, because I can't hit pan in eyeshadow. I've only hit pan in one eyeshadow. One of my proudest achievements, it is MAC Wedge. I've owned singles of that. I have finished that eyeshadow and repurchased it and repanned it. That's the only one, and that was back when I was 18, 19, and I just had so much less money that I really wasn't buying a lot of eyeshadows. Like I maybe had one palette back then, so that's why I was using it. But I hear people all the time saying like, oh, it took me 13 uses to hit pan on this shimmer. I've used a shimmer before 50 times when I was actually trying to like pan eyeshadow and still not hit pan on it. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, again, going back to like question 2 or question 3, using more product or wasting products to hit a panning goal. I don't do that. I'm gonna use it just naturally. I'm gonna use the brush that I wanna use. I'm not gonna use a very dense brush to hit the center. So yeah, it doesn't happen for me. That's fine. I've like accepted it at this point. I'm not gonna force myself to do that. I just don't want to. So unfortunately, I finished one eyeshadow. I've re-hit pan when I repurchased it, but that's about it. All right, we're a little bit over halfway done. Question 8 is reviewed a product on a website, Ulta, Sephora, brand website, etc. I don't think so. I'm not a big brand reviewer or just a reviewer in general. I will maybe like push myself to review things on like smaller brands just to more for like the person than necessarily the product, but I'm quite lazy when it comes to that kind of stuff. I can't be bothered. No, I can't. Question 9 is continue to use a product that you hated or had a reaction to. No. I've definitely going back to project panning, I've definitely taken things out of projects if I don't like it. If something, I will use something expired, I'll tell you that. But if I have a reaction to it, I'll take it out. I have no problems with that. It sucks to have something where you have to throw it away because you have a reaction to it, but I'm not gonna put myself through that. And to be honest, that really doesn't happen that often for me. I'm surprisingly pretty resilient to things. I don't have too much problems with product. I can't think of a time where an eyeshadow formula really bothered me or anything like that. Really the only thing that I've maybe encountered is a foundation kind of just breaking me out if it was older than it should have been and I'm putting it on my face. After that, I'm just not someone, fortunately, who has that issue quite often. So that's really actually nice, but if I had that problem, I definitely wouldn't keep it. Life's too short. Next question is question 10. Bought a product purely for packaging and only keep for said packaging. 100%. I would love to know if you say no to this question and what your secret is. I 100% for sure all the time buy things purely for packaging. And then as far as keeping things purely for packaging, even though I don't use the product, the only thing that I can think of right now is the Glamlight Scooby-Doo collection. I said I did not like the lip products that came with that, like the Daphne and Velma lip products were just not my style, and the blush duo was so pigmented. If you saw my video on that, I'll link it. But I just couldn't get myself to declutter or pass that blush palette on. So I did put that kind of like in a special spot, but I do try really hard, especially with IPs, to not fall into that and purchase things just because I like the IP. It's a slippery slope. I definitely used to do that in the past, but I really want to just be purchasing products that I want to try and love. I just, had already spent my money at that point, and I'm not gonna just get rid of it because I don't like the product when I did like the packaging. So that's where I stand on that. There's definitely things where maybe like I didn't love the products as much, like maybe a palette where, I could take it or leave it. The color story wasn't necessarily calling to me, but the packaging pushed me over the edge. That's more common for me, absolutely. Now, the next thing I have is, have you done someone's makeup for fun? I don't think so. I don't really have anyone in my life who's like super into makeup like me, and I'm also probably a little bit nervous to like just do someone's makeup for fun. The follow-up question to that is, have you done someone's makeup for a special event, wedding, prom, etc.? I have done my sister's makeup for a special event, for a dance I think I did once. So that's really the only time. And we did do like a trial run. So I guess if you would consider that for fun, the previous question, then yes. But I did her makeup to make sure that she liked the look, and then I did it for her actual dance. And that is the only time in history that I've done someone else's makeup. No, lied. I've done my mom's makeup because she's asked me to. So yes. I guess, I don't know if it was necessarily for fun. My mom is not someone who wears makeup almost ever, maybe like once or twice a year. So she doesn't feel like she's good at makeup. And so I've done her makeup for that, like her birthday or something like that. So I take that back. I have done someone's makeup for fun, my mom's. Okay. Now the next question, let's go. We have 3 questions left, is bought secondhand makeup, Poshmark, Mercari, a friend, etc. Yes, but it's not something that I do often. If something's discontinued that I really want, I have in the past like purchased it off of like third-party websites like Mercari and Poshmark, but usually if I do, it's gonna be brand new, not used. I would probably take like used makeup from a friend or someone that I knew, and I'm not against that. Like I don't judge people who do that. I really don't care. Like it's weird that like we'll declutter to friends, but then we won't declutter to someone on the internet. I try now to avoid those. Again, like my makeup journey, I'm 34, so I've had quite a long time to just like experience all those different avenues, and it's not something that I do anymore. If I've really kind of come to terms, like if I didn't prioritize it when it came out, then I probably don't need it at that point. And I try to just go with the mindset of like, if I can't remember it, I probably didn't need it to begin with. So I don't do that as often anymore. I do remember the last item that I purchased from Mercari, I think, was a Bobbi Brown eyeshadow in Incandescent, because I believe that eyeshadow is discontinued, and I saw it in a shop and I really liked it, but then I couldn't find it online anywhere, so I did end up purchasing that, and that was maybe around a year ago. So that was the last time I did that. Then kind of along the same lines is question 14. So sold secondhand makeup on Poshmark, Mercari, a friend, etc. If I'm giving it to a friend, I'm not gonna sell it to them. I have sold on Macari. I've sold a lot, and this is just like a unique situation. Is I live in Europe. I've kind of already mentioned that. I'm traveling a lot right now, but I did live in the States until 2018 when I was 28. So after I left, it was kind of sudden. It was semi-planned, but not super planned. So I really only brought like a suitcase. And at that time, like I was just really over consuming makeup, and it's hard to like cold turkey stop. But in that period, I was traveling a lot. I was actually in the Philippines for 2 years from 2018 to 2020. So I couldn't really purchase makeup there, knowing that I just had one suitcase to bring back. So because of that, and I still like needed my fix, I was purchasing things and sending them to my family back in the States. And because of that, when I eventually went back to the States, which was much later than anticipated, originally, like my now husband and I, we were gonna bring a shipping container with all of our furniture, etc. That was supposed to happen within 6 months of a year, and you know, time escapes you. A year went by, 2 years went by, 3 years went by, 4 years went by, until I finally went back to the States. And I just had so much stuff, like boxes and boxes of like all this unopened makeup that I was just like impulsively shopping. So when I went back, and we also had a storage unit at that time with all of our furniture. So we went back, I went back for a wedding in 2022. And at that time I listed everything. I mean, we just sold everything, because at that point it was like we've lived 4 years without it. Like when we got a more permanent place, because now it's 2024, it's been 2 years since then, we're still traveling. We still don't have like a permanent place. So we just kind of agreed that we're not gonna want our couch, we're not gonna want our TV, like we'll just buy new things when we finally get like our stable home. So it was just like get rid of it all so we can stop paying these absorbent storage unit prices. So yes, I listed all of the unopened makeup on Macari, and then anything used, usually, unless it's like a limited edition, highly sought after thing, I will just give it to a friend. If I know there's like some value to it, then yes, I will list it on like a third-party seller and see if anyone wants it. I have no shame in that at all. So I've for sure had my fair share of Macari selling, and let me tell you, it is time consuming and it is exhausting. I did not love it, but I felt so much lighter once I just got rid of most of those products. Now, the very last question here, question 15, is donated makeup to a nonprofit organization / charity for people in need. I have not. And it's not something that I'm opposed to, just not something that maybe I know what organizations around me there are. I could probably look into it, or like look into churches, etc., but it's not something I've just prioritized to do. I think that that's great to do, but I have heard that, you know, a lot of the times the makeup that we're donating is not necessarily the makeup that people want. I've mostly just donated to, you know, my sister-in-law, my sister, or told them like if they had any friends to give it to them. So I'm more about that than donating to a charity. Not opposed to it though. I think if you know any charities, then let me know down below in the description box. I'll definitely like start a running list to donate some things to, but as of now, I haven't, and I would like to. And then that is all 15 questions for the Never Have I Ever tag. Feel free to do this tag and let me know down below. I'll add your name to my description box if you decide to do it so other people can check it out. But that is all that I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. You're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.